As you can see, the renovations have been completed at the Peppermill Poker Room, the new gold and black theme, which I think is the best that they've had over its 10-year history now. So, there's a couple $5 blind no limit games going on here on a Thursday night, and I'm gonna jump in there right now. Not a lot of hands to vlog this time out, and you will soon understand why that is. I basically folded every single hand for the first hour of play. Then we got an open to 35 from the button after everyone folded. Just a straight open to 35. So pocket sevens in the single $5 blind looked pretty good, and I made the call. So with 70 in, the flop 6-3 deuce rainbow. I check, planning on check calling, but he decides to check it behind. The turn is a 4, giving me a gut shot straight draw to go along with the smallest of overpairs. I bet 35 here for equity protection, with the hope being that he might peel with ace-king. He thinks about it for a second and throws it in the muck. Smallest overpair. Over an hour after that of not winning any hands, we get a pair of limps, and I look down at king-9 of hearts in the low jack, and I make the little league play of over-limping. The hijack then raises to 20, and not surprisingly, everybody else calls. So closing the action, I decided to call as well, and we have a $100 pot, and the flop comes down 8-6-4, all hearts, giving me the king-high flush. It gets checked to the pre-flop raiser who bets 50. The guy on my right, who is an unknown, though I figured I might actually recognize him without a mask, hems and haws and finally calls. So it's back to me. I decide to make it 85 more here. The hijack immediately declares all in for his last 250, which I loved. But after that, +3 immediately says he's all in. And that I most definitely hated, given the fact that there was obviously that action in front of him, but more importantly, he has me covered for my last $520 behind. And I just felt terrible about this. The stop and go play is usually always the nuts, especially from guys that are in kind of that middle-aged range. I feel a lot of the time fall into that category. But of course, you don't know when guys are overplaying hands. And I don't even know if I know this freaking guy. I might if I saw his face. There's a lot of guys who you just kind of know from playing with them over the years, but don't really know. So it just seemed like a spot where he could be overplaying so many flushes, or even sets, that folding the king-high flush here is ridiculous. I'm just telling you what I felt at the time. And at the time, I just felt that he had the nuts here like 99% of the time against me after making this play. And especially the way that he didn't even think about it. He got an all-in in front of him, and he has me behind him with my entire stack in play. He doesn't even think about it. He doesn't even stop to worry about how much money I was playing or how much money he standing to lose. He just wanted to get every cent he possibly could in to this pot. So that's how that played out, and I think you all know that I just wasn't good enough to fold the hand. So I made the call. I never saw what the hijack had. We had about a $1,600 pot, and +3 shows ace-7 of hearts for the nut flush, leaving me drawing dead. So, after a good full day out the time before this, I was down $1,000 after 3 hours of play. And if you want to look, and you might think I'm making this up, but literally 5 minutes later, here was a look at the guy who stacked me. I continue to maintain that my claim to fame in poker is that nobody gets hit and run on more than me. I rebuy for $800 and find myself incapable of winning a hand, though all the hands I lost were extremely small pots up until the minute I picked up pocket aces and 3-bet it. Got a couple of callers, and the flop came ace-jack-queen with 2 clubs. My $75 flop bet got 2 calls. The turn brought a third club, but I decided to jam all in for my remaining stack anyway, which at that point had dwindled down to about $300. And I get snapped off by a guy who decided to play the 5-7 of clubs. And I was busted, ultimately booking a loss of $1,800. One of the most brutal days I've had in a long time. So much for the guy who always gets in the comments and says poker vloggers never vlog their losses. All right, well that sucked. Can I just state for the record that when you need the board to pair, it is very hard to get it to pair. I know this is not groundbreaking poker analysis, but I feel I really run bad when I actually need a board pair, because I can just never get it. Either way, $1,800 down on the day. I'm gonna come back tomorrow because that vlog was too damn short.
Woo!